they usually then encounter a lot more fertility problems, and therefore will be spending a heck of a lot more money to like solving that. So also having possibly a diversified strategy when it comes to that and like risk managing it is a good idea. I also had to like risk manage that situation for my own life a while back, and I definitely would have saved myself a lot of money if I would have just had like my egg freezing done a lot earlier in my life. Somehow there's also this belief around that you should be doing it when you're like 35. I think that's wrong. I would do it way earlier than that.
I did this at 30, so
Yes.
actually
Good.
31 now that I calculated. And I would say that in terms of risk management, I think it was my best decision of the year.
Very good. It definitely takes off the pressure a bit, but I mean, we also know that it can also be that nevertheless doesn't solve the problem, right? If you have these frozen eggs. But it's definitely, the younger you are, the more healthy your eggs are. And if you go through one round of freezing when you're, say, even like 28 or even 25, that will cost you probably about 4,500. If you do it early on, you'll get a lot of eggs out in one go. If you wait like I did, then you start having less eggs in one go, and therefore you get to do this process many times, which then means that you're going to be spending so much more money. And
you know, it is kind of frustrating that in 2025, now 2026, if people are listening to us later, there still are so many taboos around the topics of finance, topics of childcare and so on, that we are still in the trap of having this maybe unwanted misrepresentations of realities just because we are too shy to speak about these things. Even in the times when we have all the access to actually talking to people, and you know, social media, at least that is supposed to be one of the good aspects of social media.
There's a lot of shame around like having to have had help to have become like pregnant. I think there's shame around that topic.
And I can't even understand why would that be shameful. When you have a back pain, you go to the doctor. Also, I think it's important to remember that without visiting a doctor, you cannot yourself predict how many eggs you have left.